All right, well, hello there, my friends. This is Mr. Von, and I'm here to help you with some algebra. Today we're looking at inequalities. Yeah, okay, so this is my second video on this, and we're basically going to, well, in this whole, we're doing 4 parts on this. This is the second part. We're learning how to solve and graph inequalities, and we're learning how to translate and solve word problems that involve inequalities. We're going to do that on our 4th video. All right, so in this video, what I really want to do is I want to compare and contrast equations with inequalities. All right, what's the difference? What are the similarities? And what are the differences? All right, this is a very, very important because we're more familiar with equations, right? So there's going to be some important similarities and there's going to be some important differences. All right, so stay tuned. All right, so first of all, let's go ahead and solve this. And by the way, in the link below, I have the notes for some really good notes for this lesson. Make sure you check that out. All right, so we're going to solve this equation. All right, and we've learned how to do this already, so I'm not going to spend much time on how to, the strategies. But the idea is we're trying to get x by itself, right? So what I can do first is I want to get rid of that positive 3 using the addition principle, so I add its opposite. The opposite of 3 is negative 3. So I just add a negative 3 to both sides. All right, that's going to cancel. And I'm going to be left with negative 2x equals 6. All right? Okay. Now, this is multiplication, so I'm going to simply divide because that's the inverse. So I'm going to divide by negative 2 to both sides. Okay, that's going to reduce to 1. So that's going to give me a solution of x equals negative 3. X equals negative 3 is my solution. That's the value of my variable that makes this equation true. All right? Negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. All right? So let's go ahead now and solve my inequality. Actually, before we do that, why don't we go ahead and graph our equation here. Okay? So on the number line, I'm going to have my 0, and I'm going to have a negative 3, like out here somewhere. And while we're at it, why don't we just go ahead and draw in our number line for our inequality as well. Okay, that's a negative 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph this. X equals negative 3. Well, that means x equals negative 3. It's not going to equal negative 2 or negative 1 or anything else. It's only equal to negative 3. I only have one solution. Right? And that's going to be right there. And I'm going to make a dark circle, which means that negative 3 is the solution. And that's it. Okay? There's no other solution to that equation. Okay, let's take a look at the inequality now. All right, so here's the thing. How am I going to solve for x now that I have an inequality? Well, I have good news. It's the same process as I used for the equation. All right, so I'm going to simply just subtract 3 of both sides. Okay, that's going to leave me with negative 2x is less than, make sure you put less than, that's not an equal sign, is less than 6. All right. Divide both sides by negative 2. Okay, and then we get x is less than, now 6 divided by negative 2 is negative 3. All right. So there's my solution. Or is it? Okay, let's check that solution. Okay, what this means is saying that the solution is any number that's less than negative 3. X can be any number less than negative 3. See how the smaller end is facing the variable? That means that variable has got to be less than negative 3. Okay, well, let's choose a variable. Let's choose a number that's less than negative 3. How about negative 4? That's less than negative 3. Okay, negative 4. Let's plug that in. So if I got a negative 4 right there instead of the x, right? Because x should be less than negative 3. So let's go ahead and do that. So negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. Is that right? And then 8 plus 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, that's 11. Is 11 less than 9? No, it's not. Something's happened here. What if we reverse this? What if we reverse that inequality and made it greater than negative 3? Would we get the correct solution now? Well, think of a number that's greater than negative 3. I like the number 0. Okay, that's greater than negative 3. I'd rather have $0 than negative $3. Okay, so let's put in a 0 here. Let's see if we come up with a true statement. Times 0. So negative 2 times 0 is 0. And 0 plus 3 is 3. Is 3 less than 9? It is. It is. So actually, this is the correct solution. Why is that? Why did I have to reverse my inequality symbol? Here's why. I'm just going to do something down here. Let's say I have negative 2 is less than 4. Is that a true statement? That's a true statement. Negative 2 is less than 4. Now watch what happens if I multiply or divide both sides by a negative. Let's go divide. I'm going to divide by a negative. Okay, well if I divide both sides by a negative, let's just say negative 1. What do I end up with? I end up with, well, negative 2 divided by negative 1 is a positive 2, less than 4 divided by negative 1 is negative 4. Okay, is 2 less than negative 4? No, it's not. It's not. It's greater than. I would need to reverse this. Because here's why. When we're talking about a number line, right? Think about the number line. When we're moving in the positive direction, the greater the number, the bigger the value, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? I'm getting bigger in my value as my number increases. However, when I go on the negative side of the ledger, the bigger my number, the smaller my value, right? Negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, I'm actually getting smaller. Okay? So when we divide by that negative 1, essentially what we're doing is we're flipping that number line around. And so we have to also flip our symbol, our inequality symbol. Okay? As our negative gets bigger, our value gets smaller. And the positive side is as the number gets bigger, the value also gets bigger. So different things are happening there. And whenever we divide by a negative, we're flipping that number line around. All right? So that's why we got to reverse that sign. Okay, now let's go ahead and graph this inequality. X is greater than negative 3. All right, so negative 3 is right there. Do I do an open circle or a closed circle? Well, is negative 3 part of the solution? Is negative 3 greater than negative 3? No, it's not. Negative 3 is not part of the solution, so I keep it open. Okay, and anything greater than negative 3 is a solution. Boom. Right, and I can even go like that, right? See that? See the arrow, how that arrow's going that way and this arrow's going that way? Okay, anything greater than -3 is a solution. Okay, 0 is a solution, 3 is a solution, everything over there is a solution. All right, so let's talk about some similarities. What are some similarities that you see between equations and inequality signs? Okay, pause the video and see what you can come up with. Well, what do I see? The most important similarity that I see is that the process of solving, by the way, we don't need that, process of solving is the same, right? I use the same process, right? Addition principle, multiplication principle, everything, process was the same. That's an important similarity. Okay, do you see another similarity? Okay, another similarity is the value in my solution is the same. Okay, here I had a -3. And there I had a -3. And the reason why the value is the same is because the process was the same. Okay. Now let's talk about, that's about it when I see similarities. Let's talk about some important differences. There's like a lot of differences. First of all, the solution's different. Okay? This equation, the solution is -3. The solution is not -3. It's anything greater than -3, right? Different solution. Okay? Another difference is the number of solutions. Okay, the equation only has one, in this case, only has one solution. Okay? An equation can have more than one, but a linear equation is going to have one solution. Whereas an inequality has tons of solutions. Right? -2 is a solution. -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All of those are solutions. Okay? So equation has one solution. Inequality has multiple solutions. Okay. Can you think of another difference? Well, how about their graph? Graphs are different. As you can see, this one has a closed circle, that has an open circle. This one has no arrow going anywhere. This one shows an arrow because it has multiple solutions. All right? Any other differences? Gosh, I think there's one more difference and I'm not remembering what it is. Okay, but those are the main ones. Those are the main differences. Okay, so I hope this was helpful for you to see both the similarities and the differences between equations and inequalities. Both are important. Okay, and by the way, before I leave you, on your notes you'll see the inequality rule. Inequality rule. This is going back to what we did up here. Okay, here it is. Whenever you multiply or divide by a negative number, the inequality symbol gets, here's the key word, reversed. Gets reversed. Anytime you multiply or divide by a negative, it gets reversed. Okay? In our next video, we're going to actually take a look at some inequalities, and we're going to solve some inequalities in our next video. All right, don't forget, I have notes in the description below, and make sure you subscribe to my channel to get all my future videos. You'll get notified of those when I make them. All right? Until next time, my friends, hey, may God richly bless you.